Today we are gathered as a community of law enforcement command staff, investigators, detectives, and law enforcement community task force members. A tragic, senseless shooting into an occupied residence occurred on June 23rd at 1209 West End Avenue at approximately 1:30 a.m. There were 3 victims. An 11-year-old girl identified by her family as Janiah Scott passed away after being transported to ANMED. 2 other victims, both females. An 11-year-old remains in critical condition at this time, and an 18-year-old remains in stable condition. Along with the community, we continue to hold all these victims and their families in our prayers. Today, the team of detectives, narcotics officers, and street crimes units are working to canvass the neighborhoods, attempting to locate witnesses. We ask for the community to call Crime Stoppers regarding this event. 1-888-CRIME-SC. Information provided can be confidential and may lead to a reward through Anderson County Crime Stoppers. Even if you feel that you have the smallest amount of information, we ask you that you call. We think it's that important. It may be the clue that we need. I'd like to assure the public today that the Anderson Police Department's main purpose is to serve and protect the residents and visitors to the city of Anderson. Within this past week, a police incident occurred on June 13th, 2019 that led to a foot pursuit and the discovery of a drug house on Martin Avenue. The foot pursuit began as Dimitri Hodges, who was on trespass notice from Friendship Court Apartments, fled after being approached by officers. The officers saw the subject remove a handgun from his waist and drop it on the ground. The pursuit led to 1724 Martin Avenue, where an officer observed the fleeing subject enter a house. The house was occupied by multiple individuals and contained street drugs, including marijuana and unidentified pills believed to be ecstasy. Those pills are at SLED now to be tested. A large amount of rolled money and 5 handguns were also seized as evidence associated with gang activity. As the house was surrounded by officers, occupants were ordered to exit. During the apprehension of the suspect, several other persons from inside the house attempted to interfere with officers and were arrested and charged for interfering. In an unrelated investigation, last week, narcotic officers conducted surveillance at 108 Mount Vernon Apartments. On June 20th, 2019, through the investigative sources they obtained a search warrant, executed the search warrant there at Mount Vernon Apartments. A search of that apartment revealed 274 grams of marijuana, 1.2 grams of heroin, a stolen Glock 10mm, associated drug paraphernalia, unknown prescription meds, another Taurus PT-111 located on one of the suspects' waistband as they entered the apartment, and rifle ammo. By the actions of the officers involved in our special teams and narcotics and the community action team known as CAT, a drug house and apartment utilized for drug use were discovered that was negatively impacting the neighborhood. What I'd like the community to know is 9 guns were removed from the street last week, and the drugs are off the streets. Exigent circumstances do not always allow for our actions to occur in good and decent order due to the fluid action of our job in law enforcement. But a lawful command from a police officer must be obeyed. Individuals are not allowed to interfere with a lawful arrest. The Anderson Police Department is committed and proud to continue to make the city of Anderson a safer community. Yesterday, a shooting occurred around 6:19 p.m. between 2 adult males at 1606 Sainsbury Drive. This shooting is currently being investigated by the Criminal Investigative Division. Shooting is not related to the shooting that occurred on West End Avenue and is an isolated incident. Both individuals are currently still hospitalized, with one in critical and the other in stable condition. The main focus of this press conference is to assure the community that the Anderson Police Department is working to keep this community safe. And by the pictures on display today, which I'd like to show you, these are the 5 guns taken from Martin Avenue, one of which was stolen from a car break-in in Anderson County. Also located in the search warrant was 2 safes containing a large amount of money, pills believed to be ecstasy that can be used in future charges, also a large amount of drugs, and As I said, there was issue property located on the premises that associated this with gang activity. The narcotics officers also last week took 4 more guns off the street along with drug activity. We do know that drugs are an issue. We do know that gangs are an issue, and the staff here behind me is sole to that purpose to work toward eradicating that from the city of Anderson. Again, our hearts go out to the family of the Scotts as they lost their 11-year-old daughter. Our prayers are with them, and we're going to work toward finding the suspect. I'd ask Major Carson if you have anything else you'd like to add at this time.
I'd just like to echo the chief's comments and stress to the community, to the public, that we here at the police department are 100% committed to providing the support and resources that our officers need to bring these people to justice. We had an 11-year-old child that lost her life behind a senseless act of violence. And again, we want to ensure the safety of the public, the community, and want everybody to know that we are doing what we need to do to make sure that these people are brought to justice. And if anybody out there has any information regarding any persons that may be involved, please, please, please contact us here at the City Police Department and/or Crime Stoppers.
Thank you.
Based on any evidence you guys found at the scene and the triple shooting yesterday, do you know how many people could have been involved?
At this time, we're following leads, and that's what our team is out doing today. The detectives that you see here, I took them away from upstairs for a few minutes, so we're going to get them back to work. The detectives, our narcotics investigators, our community action team are all following up on leads at this time. Can't really comment on that, as we'll let them do their job, and when we have more information on that, we'll release that.
Have you all had calls out to that home before?
Not of this nature, not that we're aware of.
Chief, can you speak at all about the motive in this case? I mean, obviously it doesn't seem like the children would have been the ultimate target.
West End Avenue is a street that we have relatively low amount of crime on. We do have issues around Friendship Court, which our community action team, the CAT team, is working on that with a new manager in at Friendship Court Apartments, and that's what led to this chase last week. It was just basically a person trespassing on the property of Friendship Court. The community in that area, there are no issues. This was just a very tragic, senseless incident, and at this time we just are in investigation.
How do you ensure other neighbors in that area that bullets flying at any point in time, Monday morning, 1:30, won't put them in harm's way?
I think our issue right now is reactive, as how we focused on West End Avenue. Today, we're being the proactive police department to go out, and every lead that is coming in, we're following it up. Today is a big day asking the public for their help. Again, we can't say it enough for Crime Stoppers. Basically, person can remain anonymous to give us that information, and that might be just the tick that we need.
Have you gotten any tips since it occurred?
We have received quite a few tips, and that's exactly what the detectives here today are following up on. Sometimes they connect, sometimes they don't, but even if you have the slightest amount of information that you think might be involved with this, let us know, because the more we get that information, the more it adds up to a case.
Do you know, were the shooters in the West End, was that a drive-by or were they on foot? You guys know?
We're still trying to determine that. We haven't.
Chief, how many times was the house shot at the West End?
Over 35 times.
If there's no other more questions.
Do you know if that house was specifically targeted?
That's part of the investigation phase we're in right now, trying to determine who was the target and why was this house chosen.
Did you find drugs in the house at West End?
No.
Do you think this is drug related?
I think that's too soon to speculate on that. Okay, thank y'all for being here today. Again, we just ask you to keep the family in your prayers as they go through this ordeal. Thank you.